Hey guys. All right, we are getting ready for Heat 3 Molten Core with Savix and Zaryu and Butt Soap and Peo, and we are just crafting our 226 fire resistance gear right now. I'm going to show you all three of my sets. I believe I have three. Take your Why is my PvP trinket on? You want to put Hodge here. You want to put Hodge here, guys. You want to put Hodge here. This is my DPS set that I'm going with right now. So as you see, I have 165 heat resist right now. This is my gear. I'll quickly go over it, and I'll explain how we get to 226. Unfortunately, I have to use this one, but this has a lot of fire resist. And this too. I should have agility on this. You know, not the best gear, but you know, that's what it's all about. Heat 3. Okay, alright, so how do we get to 226 with that? Well, guys, let's keep in mind that Mark gives 27 resistance. And let's also bear in mind that Fire Resist Aura gives 60. But we are not depending on Fire Resist Aura right now. But for fights like Gar and stuff can knock you, but Fire Resist can be good if you're not getting knocked, and I will make a set eventually to even out with the Fire Resist Aura, but this is a safety Sam set that I won't have to worry about being close to the Paladin or not, okay? So how do we get to 226? Well, guys, we have this thing called Fire Embers, okay, or Juju Embers, okay, that get 15 resist for 10 minutes, so that's every boss. We can pop one of these. You farm these in Winter Spring from killing bears. You have to do a Juju quest. I would hit a Google on that real quick. It's not hard. It's really easy. Also, we have these flasks. I'm not sure where they are on my bags, but they're right here on my bars. A flask of chromatic resistance, what increases your resistance by 25%. So what we're going to do, we're going to add 165 plus 25, which is 190. And then we're going to add a Juju from that, which is 205 fire resist. And then we're going to add the Mark of the Wild on there. That is 27. So that is more than 226 fire resistance. And that is how my DPS set is going to go. Okay, so for DPS, we're going to go with Endless Rage. We're going to go with Raging Blow. We're going to go with Blood Surge for Slam procs. We're going to go with Consumed Rage. So this ability, if you don't want to read it, I'll read it for you right now. You basically, when you hit 60 Rage, or like one more than 60 Rage, I think it's 60 Rage or more, you get Enraged and increases your damage. So you want to look for that proc. It's good to have a weak aura for that proc because that'll increase your damage. When that falls off, you want to get above 60 Rage again or below 60 Rage real quick and then back up to refresh it. With World Buffs, you pretty much get it all the time, and sometimes it's hard to get it, to be honest. Sometimes it's hard to lose Rage. But anyway, we go with that. We go with Enraged Regen, personal cooldown, of course. Sword, we do not go with Sword and Board. We go with Rampage and Raid for a big cooldown. Guys, Rampage does scale with Crusader procs and AP procs. So ideally you want to wait till you get like both your Crusader procs and then pop it, because it'll snapshot those. It'll snapshot the AP. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. You're going to want to go with Single-Minded Fury because you're dual wielding. I mean, just makes sense, you know, is what it is. Big damn. You're also going to want to go with your two different weapons, which, you know, let me put my DPS gear on for a second here. So, you know, I got an axe and I got a dagger, you know, so we go with the axe and dagger. And you do want to go with, I believe, with fresh meat majority of the time. If there's a raw single target fight that's going to take a while, then I can see sudden death maybe being better, but I do prefer the fresh meat. There's some kink with fresh meat too, which is pretty interesting, is it diminishes, if you read it, when you hit someone with Bloodthirst, it gives you 10% damage, I believe, and then it diminishes over time the more you hit them. So what you can do is you can make a mouse over macro for this and hit other targets to keep up your 10% maximum increased damage on ad mobs, but you don't need to do that really unless you're really min-maxing. But those are my runes. I am the main off tank in the guild, so I will be tanking this first heat level 3 until we figure out more stuff or get more gear. And so I'm going to show you my tank set as well. And I did get Deathbringer. That's right. I look pretty hot. And so we're going to swap to our tank set that we set up yesterday here. Now, this is our tank set. Also going to be equaling over 226 fire resist without the need of fire resistance aura, guys. So as you see here, I'll quickly go over the gear. It's very similar gear, pretty much the same gear, to be honest. I'm wearing the DPS heroism because I need the hit. You know, you want to have that 6% hit. You know, these are actually really good for tanking. I got to get these enchanted, I know. You know, Fell Striker. The Draconic Deflector has a plus 10% 10 fire resist, which is nice, free. And all these pretty much the same gear for the most part, but defensive gear over the offensive gear with the heroism. So if we add the flask here for the 25 resistance, we are already, Bean Shell, thank you for the 5. Jesus, we are already at the 200 mark, and with Mark of the Wild, we are already at 227 resistance. We don't even need to use the Juju in our prot set, mainly because of this shield here. And guys, that is how you're gonna do Molten Core. Heat 3 is you need above 226 fire resistance. You know, you could be safe without a Paliora. We can get a little bit above it, or if you're confident in the Paliora, which on some fights you totally can be, a lot of fights you totally can be, you can skimp it down until you get that with your fire resist. So eventually I'll probably skimp down this cape to, you know, this cape, or something like that, or this neck to this neck, or this neck. Real quick, for the runes we're going to be using for prot during this MC clear. We're probably going to be using Vigilance a lot of times. Honestly, Crab, my main tank, he's so manly. And mainly, he usually doesn't have aggro palms, so putting this on him is sometimes good. Sometimes I put this on Savix. Basically, when they get hit, it'll reset your taunt. It's pretty nice. It gives you more threat too, turns more threat to you. If you don't need this, then you can go Endless Rage. I like to go Warbringer. Well, that's loud. I like to go Warbringer as this one right here, because sometimes as the off tank I gotta go this way, that way, pick up this ad, pick up that ad, you know, go in here, there, everywhere. If you don't need mobility on some fights, then you can go Flagellation. First time pronouncing that. And that just gives you more rage. Here I go with Focus Rage because I don't really think, you know, I think, you know, personally, you know, you just spam Devastate, Shield Slam. You know, I don't think you really need a Slam. I think these are pretty fried. So, you know, just make sure abilities cost less. Thunderclap is good to keep up as your off tank. You know, always want to keep up Thunderclap, reduces their damage, owns, gives good AoE threat. You know, that kind of shazazz. Enraged Regeneration. Now, this is a potential one that could go either way. You could go Enraged Regen for yourself, or you could be a team player and go Rallying Cry for maybe like Baron when there's some bad bombs going out, or even Shazra. You know, fights where there's potential AoE, which, you know, not much, but I usually stick with the Enraged Regen because our Giga Chat healers, it's no big deal. Sword and Board, of course, you know, because we're prot. Devastate, of course, you know, big damage, big threat. The Dagger Spec for the, of course, for the Fell Striker main hand. You know, the defense for the defense. I don't die anyway. I don't need it, but and then Shockwave for just AoE threat. The last thing you guys might not know or might need to know for MC fire resist gear is Librum of Resilience. It gives you 20 fire resist on your pants or on your helm, which is really good, obviously, for the heat levels because you pretty much need it. They're pretty cheap on the auction house. You just need to go get the mats, which are kind of annoying. There's some in BRD. There's some mat you need to get in BRD in the coffers. And there is mat in Ungoro that you need to get in a black diamond, which is like 1 silver on off the auction house. And then you combine them together, and walla bing, walla boom, you can enchant your pants and your helm with fire resist. Also, you can enchant your shoulders with fire resist. You can get a 15 fire resist if you're exalted from Argent Dawn. If you're revered, you can get a 5% fire resist on shoulders. And those are the fire resistant enchants. Also, there's really good bracers from BRD. These aren't enchanted. I will enchant them. BRD has good fire resistance bracers that come with random stats. There's even plus healing. There's plus agility and strength. There's a bunch of different ones, but it's from Insidious, I believe, from BRD. It's very fast runs, and you can farm these. And last thing I want to touch on, guys, if you don't know, you do need 6%. Well, actually, you need 9% hit rating to as melee, as a warrior. You need 9% hit rating. But with these specializations that add five skills, you only need 6%. So that's why you want to change these specializations to whatever weapons you have on at the time. So right now we're going with 6% hit because that's the max hit we need with these specializations on. Other than that, you know, your crit and stuff is going to be lacking with fire resist gear because it's not, you know, the ideal gear that, you know, you would love to be potentially wearing.